His games are timeless, his positional understanding unmatched. He is one of the greatest players of all times. He became world champion in 1975 and went on to dominate the chess world with his super tournament winning streak for over a decade. I'm delighted and in awe to have with us here at the Gibraltar Masters the 12th world champion, Mr. Anatoly Karpov. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anatoly, first let's start with what it's like to be in Gibraltar, your first impressions.
Oh, it's an interesting place, and so I think chess players are delighted to play here at the corner of Europe. And for many years already, Gibraltar became one of the most important chess centers in the world.
Right, and now you started playing chess when you were 4 years old. So it's been a long journey which continues. I have to ask you, what is it that you love the most about the game after all these years?
I was growing up as chess player, and at the age of 11 I became candidate master in Soviet Union. And then I was the youngest national master at the age of 15. I just liked to play chess and to produce some ideas, and results became important, but much later. First, I just loved to play and to compete with people.
And growing up, were there masters you idolized? Who had a very big impact on you in your growing up years?
I think Capablanca was one of the most important world champions for me, and I studied his games and a book. It was a good book about Capablanca games, written by international master Vasily Panov, Russian author. Yes, it was quite strong influence of Capablanca style.
The most exciting is all the World Championship matches that you have played, and I want to start with the 1975 match with Fischer, which did not happen. Do you remember the first time you heard about Bobby Fischer, and what was your feeling about it then?
Of course, I knew his name and his games when I was very young, because I followed that candidate tournament in Yugoslavia. At that time, it was very long competition, 28 games with adjournments, so it was like 45 days, very difficult to play. And Fischer played this candidates tournament when he qualified when he was 15. And at that time he became grandmaster at the age of 14, very young, and the youngest, not in the history, but of course the weight of grandmaster title was much more important than nowadays.
Yeah. When Fischer was going into the 72 match with Boris Spassky, how did you feel the match would turn out? What were your predictions for the match?
Fischer achieved fantastic results in candidates matches against Taimanov, then Larsen, 6-0, 6-0, yes. And then against Petrosyan with 4 points advantage, which was great sportive result. But and of course everybody was impressed with that result, and Fischer dominated. He was very strong personality, and these players, I think they missed mostly psychologically that games. And when I had to play Fischer, I prepared. I made big job, and I think I had chances. I can say I had better chances, but still I had chances, and so I considered that it will be a tough match.
Was that a bit disappointing for you after Fischer's demands were not met and the match not taking place? Was it bittersweet to be world champion without a match?
No, I prepared, as I said. I prepared for the match, and I was ready to play.
Yes.
But of course I couldn't force Fischer to play. If he didn't appear, so he didn't appear. I wanted to play and to defeat Bobby, and it was my personal aim to win that match. But the leaders of my country, they didn't like the idea because they said, you are world champion, why you have risk to play Fischer? So you are world champion, what do you want? And I said, I want to play the strongest player of the time, and I want to beat him, I have chances. And then they asked, are you sure you can win? I said, I have good chances, but in sport, how can you be sure that you win? And then that's why I had problems to negotiate, because they said, no, if you guarantee. I said, are you crazy? I cannot guarantee I win, but I have good chances to beat Fischer.
Talking about good chances, there was a lot of mixed views on this. Kasparov felt that, you know, you probably would have won that match considering that you were very active. You were at your toughest. You were peaking, while Fischer hadn't actually played for 3 years after 72. While Spassky said that maybe Fischer would have won that match, but you would come back and win the next cycle.
Okay, Fischer had a big supporter as Spassky. Spassky admired Fischer very much. And probably because of this admiration, Spassky missed his chances to play more successful against Fischer in the match. If you analyze that match, Fischer won with big gap, but in the middle of the match, they both lost energy, and so they were playing like boxers fighting in the last rounds of the battle. And from game 11 or 12, I think 5 or 6 games, both sides could win. And so much could continue in different direction. And game 13, Spassky was winning almost by force, and he missed it in the middle of the game. And actually, I got a lot of respect among our top players when I showed that during the game I analyzed, and then I showed Petrosyan carries how Spassky could win the game.
Were you at the venue at that time?
No, we were preparing for Chess Olympiad in Skopje.
Okay.
And we were together, and then I just analyzed, and then I showed that Spassky missed a clear advantage, a big advantage, almost winning. And then he lost that game at the end. It was Alekhine defense. And then he missed chance, and he lost opportunities to win.
After you became world champion, you went on to play many tournaments. You were a very active world champion, so to say. Was there some sort of a motivation to prove that even though match did not happen, you were the best in the world?
No, I played always a lot, but not too much. I had norm around 80 games a year. But I played, of course, much more than any other world champions. And probably because I accumulated a lot of energy, and preparation was very serious, which I made for Fischer. Yes. And then I could play with almost without preparation any tournament with any list of the players.
So you wanted to make the most of that preparation so it doesn't go waste.
Yes, I used all my preparation, of course.
Now you played these matches with Korchnoi, then with Kasparov, and even the ones later with Kasparov were very close matches, 11.5, 12.5, and it was very tough.
One match 12-12 in
12-12, yes, in Sevilla.
Yes.
Which World Championship match do you think had the biggest impact on you?
No, I don't know. But Korchnoi reached his peak in 77, 78, which I didn't expect. But I was sure I had better chances in the match. 78 was almost repetition of our match of 74. I won 3 games in 18 games. Korchnoi didn't succeed to win even 1, so it was huge advantage. 3 points before the end. We needed to play 6 games. And then suddenly I lost 2 games almost in a row. I lost game 19 and I lost game 21. And then suddenly Korchnoi recovered, and it was big competition in the last 3 games. But I had 2 whites and 1 black, and so I succeeded to manage 3 draws. even the last game was completely winning for me, but of course in special conditions, Korchnoi had to win to equalize the score, and so he played a little bit risky, and then I offered him draw in winning position because I needed just draw, and so I didn't make mistake just to try to win because I didn't need it. And then Korchnoi realized that he was losing, and when I offered draw, he didn't take a chance to lose another game. Last title I won against Anand.
Yes.
So this was
also very big.
Very exciting match.
For the chess world, this was also a very big moment for how rich the World Championship matches were. The ones with Korchnoi, and then in '84, the match with Kasparov, which after 48 games, which you were leading, was stopped. You lost something like 10 kgs is what was written in this about this?
Both lost weight, and but still we had to continue.
Yes.
According to regulations, and so it was big pressure of Kasparov supporters, and that time they took very high positions in Soviet Union, and so Kampamanis couldn't resist. And he made crazy decision which separated world in two parts. Actually, if I would win that match,
things would be very
especially 6-0, I had chances. Then
yes.
Kasparov would never become world champion. That's quite clear. He will be completely destroyed, psychologically destroyed, and because he is very emotional, so I don't think he would become the strongest player in the world.
Everyone who studies games, from whether it's the World Championship matches or the Alekine Memorial that you won or the Leader tournament, you want to see the game again to understand what really happened. Your opponents have this feeling of helplessness. Recently, I think it was Yannick Pelletier who said that he was playing against you many years ago and he has never felt so helpless in his life on the board. How would you describe your style of play, and what was it that left your opponents so helpless?
I was playing for a win the whole game. Even I had some problems to defend, but still I was looking how to defend and then how to counterattack, and I could find additional possibilities how to create problems to my opponent in chess.
But also a very strong positional style. But it was an aggressive positional style.
Yes, and. So probably this is a part of my style, not only positional, because Petrosyan played positional chess, but this was different. This was different, and he played, let's say, Caracan defense just to make draw, and I played Caracan defense to win. So there's a big difference to play very passive opening, but to play for a win. And I won many games, and then this. Discovery, what I did with Kamsky, playing with black, I made move king 8 to e7 without castle, in the middle of the game with queens and all the pieces. So this was a big surprise, and all the players of the tournament in Dortmund were coming, looking what happened.
You're also involved with a lot of work in Russia as a member of parliament. Yeah. Tell us about that. That must take a lot of your time.
Yeah, this is full-time job, and so that's why I'm playing less and less. But now I play only rapid chess or blitz tournaments. Very seldom classical chess, because classical chess tournaments, they require longer time. But even now I'm playing quite good in blitz.
Yes.
And only last year's, for instance, Karyakin, who became world champion in blitz 2 years ago. Before that tournament, I was almost equal with him playing privately in blitz.
Oh, you had some training games with him?
Yes, we are friends, and so we play from time to time privately. And before I was, let's say 6 years ago, I was stronger than him.
So you are a specialist in shorter time controls?
Yes, since young age I played always blitz. Even now I play quite strong in blitz.
Right now, you, Anatoly, have played so many different formats of the World Championship. The one that currently exists, the World Championship cycle as is right now, do you think it's ideal? Do you think there's room for improvement?
I don't like the decisions about changing time control.
Okay.
And I'm not in favor of this. And it brings closer classical chess to rapid chess. And then I don't see the reason why we have two championships. Then make one. But still, I believe that World Championship match should be maybe 16 games.
Longer.
Longer, yes. Yeah.
And also, many times this World Championship match is going into tie breaks, which is then decided on rapid and blitz, actually.
No, I'm strictly against this. Because you can combine classical chess and blitz. And World Championship title, this is so important. You cannot decide it with blitz games.
But what do you do if the match is a tie? How do you go forward? Let's say if it's even 16 matches and it's 8-8, how do you...
To play till first win.
Okay. Simple, but it should be classical.
Yes.
For a classical World Championship, it should be a classical win.
Yes.
Who do you think will challenge Magnus Carlsen in the 2020 match?
This time, I think Dink has better chances. So he showed his strengths last year, and I believe he is favorite. But still, I believe Carlsen will continue to be world champion.
You do?
At least yes, at least another time.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for inspiring us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.